Hey everybody, Mark here at 8 Minute Acts. Today I'm going to share with you a few really important tips that I promise you will help you get more enjoyment and purpose out of your guitar playing. If you're new to guitar, you're thinking about picking up guitar, or you've been playing the same 8 songs for the last 35 years and you're not getting any better, then this video is for you. If you love music as much as I do and you want to get off the sidelines, then please do yourself a favor and give me 5 minutes of your time. I've been teaching guitar for just about 25 years, but for the last 5, I've been teaching exclusively adults. And I'll tell you why. Very few things are more satisfying than the moment one of my adult students has that epiphany that he or she is no longer a spectator, but actually playing music. For some, it's the realization of a lifelong goal. I've even had some students tell me that the decision to play guitar is the best decision they've ever made. I pay careful attention to the habits of my students that progress the fastest and the students who drop out after just a few weeks. Here's some fundamental tips that will help you maximize your enjoyment, realize some of your goals, and overall help you become the best guitar player that you can be. Number 1, lose the justs. I just want to be able to play Stairway to Heaven. I just want to learn a few chords. I just want to be a rhythm player. Why are you limiting yourself right off the bat? If you've already convinced yourself that you can't do it or that you can only do it halfway, then why bother? I have never had a single student who genuinely wasn't capable of physically or mentally doing it. Number 2, follow a curriculum. If your time is as valuable as mine is, maximize it. If you want to learn guitar and you can afford private lessons, take private lessons. If you're planning on committing any amount of time each week playing, why wouldn't you afford yourself the opportunity to do it in a manner that's the most efficient and in which you give yourself the best chance for success? Now, if you can't afford private lessons, online lessons are the next best thing, and they could be just as good with a little bit more discipline. I know many amazing players that learn to play online. Number 3, develop a healthy relationship with gear. Now, what does that mean? Does the totality of your music-related activities each week break down like this? 1 hour practicing, 2 hours looking at gear online, 3 hours trying to dial in the perfect tone, and 4 hours reading about how to set up a pre-war Martin the right way. And you don't even own a pre-war Martin. Now, there's nothing wrong with looking at gear or learning about it, and I encourage you to get the best guitar you can afford, but don't end up letting your guitars become decorative pieces. And don't let becoming a tone expert become a substitute for actually practicing. There's a joke a couple of my friends have. What do you call a guitar player who never practices? A producer. Every time I catch myself going down the gear rabbit hole, I write down the amount of time I burned, and I add 25% of that time to my practice. I've been really good about that too. I figure if I have the time to browse gear, I have the time to practice more. Number 4, set realistic short and long-term goals. This is probably the most important tip for adult players. You need to figure out exactly what you want to accomplish and be able to articulate it. Some examples of short-term goals: learn to play the Day Tripper riff mistake-free by the end of the week, or memorize all of the open chords by Friday. Long-term goals can be do an open mic by the end of the year, join a beginner guitar ensemble, or perform 45 minutes of material for your family at Christmas. Number 5, practice. Now, you knew this was going to be a tip. My recommendation is 10 to 20 minutes a day, 3 to 5 days a week. You should be hyper-focused when you practice. If you're not mentally exhausted after 20 minutes of practice, then you need to challenge yourself more. I have a couple great short videos on how to practice properly. I'll leave a link for those in the description. Now, here's something interesting. Whatever the max time you set for your practice, don't exceed it. Early overachievers always end up throwing in the towel. It goes like this. Day 1, you practice 20 minutes. Day 2, you practice 40 minutes. By day 3, you're up to an hour and you're loving it. On day 4, you only have 10 minutes. And because you practice for an hour on day 3, you think to yourself, 10 minutes isn't really going to do much for me. I'll practice tomorrow. You get the idea? You'd be surprised how often this exact thing happens. Number 6, play with other musicians whenever possible. Ideally with musicians that are better than you. To me, playing with other musicians is the most fun part of being a guitar player. Playing with others will almost always make your feel better, make your timing better, and it makes practice much more enjoyable. Number 7, learn entire songs. When I was a kid, I learned a ton of riffs and chord progressions, but I couldn't play a single song all the way through. I didn't realize until later on how much it frustrated me and held me back. As you develop your repertoire, it's totally fine to have a bag of riffs to show off, but learn some easy 3 and 4 chord songs and learn them from beginning to end. And on that same note, number 8 is celebrate the wins. Don't put a song to bed once you feel you've mastered it. First of all, we can always play it better, right? But don't always be on the edge of where you think your playing should be. Sometimes you want to settle back into easier material and enjoy playing it. I mean, that's why we play guitar, to play songs. I've seen monster jazz players have a blast playing 3 and 4 chord songs all night long. Continue to challenge yourself, but know when to stop practicing and to play. Whether you're practicing for your first open mic jam or you just got off the road from a world tour, if you play guitar, you're an equal and important part of the music. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, and if you have any good tips, please leave them in the comments. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a great day. I'll see you in the next video.